5. The Selfish Giant. Reading. This is the story of a giant who owned a garden and never allowed anyone, especially children, to enter it. He made nature unhappy by doing so. One day, the things took turn and changed the heart of the giant. What happened? Every afternoon, as the children were coming from school, they used to go and play in the giant's garden. It was a large, lovely garden with soft green grass. Here and there over the grass, beautiful flowers stood like stars. And there were 12 peach trees that in spring broke out delicate blossoms of pink and pearl, and in the autumn bore rich fruit. The birds sat on the trees and sang so sweetly that the children used to stop their games to listen to them. "How happy we are here," they said to each other. One day the giant came back. He has to visit his friend the Cornish ogre and had stayed with him for 7 years. After the 7 years were over, he had said all that he had to say. For his conversation was limited and he determined to return to his own castle. When he arrived, he saw the children playing in the garden. "What are you doing here?" he cried in a very gruffy voice, and the children ran away. "My own garden is my own garden," said the giant. "Anyone can understand it. I will allow nobody to play in it." So he built a high wall all round it and put up a notice board. "Trespassers will be prosecuted." He was a very selfish giant. The poor children had nowhere to play now. They tried to play on the road, but the road was very dusty and full of hard stones, and they did not like it. They used to wander around the high wall when their lessons were over and talk about the beautiful garden inside. "How happy we were there," they said to each other. Then spring came, and all over the country there were little blossoms and little birds. Only in the garden of the selfish giant it was still winter. The birds did not care to sing in it, as there were no children, and the tree forgot to blossom. Once a beautiful flower put its head out from the grass, but when it saw the notice board, it was so sorry for the children that it slipped into the snow and the frost. "Spring has forgotten this garden," the winter cried, "so I will live here all the year round." The snow covered up the grass with her great white cloak, and the frost painted all the trees silver. Then they invited the North Wind to stay with them, and he came. He was wrapped in furs, and he roamed about the garden all day and blew the chimney pots down. "This is a delightful spot," he said. "We must ask the hail on a visit." So the hail came. Every day for 3 hours he rattled on the roof of the castle till he broke most of the slates, and then he ran round and round the garden as fast as he could go. He was dressed in grey and his breath was like ice. "I cannot understand why the spring is so late in coming," said the selfish giant as he sat at the window and looked out at his cold white garden. "I hope there will be a change in the weather soon." But the spring never came, nor the summer. The autumn gave golden fruit to every garden, but to the giant's garden she gave none. "He is too selfish," she said. So it was always winter there, and the north wind and the hail and the frost and the snow danced about through the trees. One morning, the giant was lying awake in bed when he heard some lovely music. It sounded so sweet to his ears that he thought it must be the king's musician passing by. It was so long since he had heard a bird sing in his garden that it seemed to him to be the most beautiful music in the world. Then the hail stopped dancing over his head and the north wind ceased roaring, and a delicious perfume came to him through the open casement. "I believe the spring has come at last," said the giant, and he jumped out of bed and looked out. What did he see? He saw the most wonderful sight. Through a little hole in the wall, the children had crept in. They were sitting on the branches of the trees. In every tree that he could see, there was a little boy. And the trees were so glad to have the children back again that they had covered themselves with blossoms and were waving their arms gently above the children's heads. The birds were flying about and twittering with delight, and the flowers were looking up through the green grass and laughing. It was a lovely scene, but only in one corner it was still winter. It was the farthest corner of the garden, and there a little boy was standing. He was so small that he could not reach the branches of the tree, and he was going round it, crying bitterly. The poor tree was still covered with frost and snow, and the north wind was blowing and roaring about it. "Climb up, little boy," said the tree, and it bent its branches down as low as it could, but the little boy was too short. And the giant's heart melted as he looked out. "How selfish I have been," he said. "Now I know why spring had not come here. I will put that little boy on the top of the tree, and then I will knock down the wall, and my garden shall be the children's playground forever and ever." He was really very sorry for what he had done. So he went downstairs and opened the front door quite softly and went into the garden. But when the children saw him, they were so frightened that they all ran away, and winter entered the garden again. Only the little boy did not run, for his eyes were full of tears, and he did not see the giant coming. And the giant went behind him and took him gently in his hand and put him up into the tree. And the tree broke at once into blossom, and the birds came and sang on it, and the little boy stretched out his two arms and flung them around the giant's neck and kissed him. And the other children, when they saw that the giant was not wicked any longer, came running back, and with them came the spring. "It is your garden now, little children," the giant said, and he took a great axe and knocked down the wall. And when the children were going to market at 12 o'clock, they found the giant playing with the children in the most beautiful garden they had ever seen. All day long they played, and in the evening they came to the giant to bid him goodbye. "But where is your little companion?" he said, "the boy I put into the tree." The giant loved him most because he had kissed him. "We don't know," answered the children. He has gone away. You must tell him to come here tomorrow, said the giant. But the children said that they did not know where he lived and they had never seen him before. The giant felt very sad. Every afternoon when school was over, the children came and played with the giant. But the little boy whom the giant loved was never seen again. The giant was very kind to all the children, yet he longed for his little friend and often spoke of him. "How I long to see him," he used to say. Years went by, and the giant grew very old and feeble. He could not play with children any longer, so he sat in a huge armchair and watched the children at their games and admired his garden. "I have many beautiful flowers," he said, "but the children are the most beautiful flowers of all." One winter morning, he looked out of his window. He did not hate winter now, for now he knew that it was merely the spring asleep and the flowers were resting. Suddenly he rubbed his eyes in wonder and looked and looked. It certainly was a marvelous sight. In the farthest corner of the garden, a tree was quite covered with lovely white blossoms. Its branches all looked golden. Silver fruit hung down from them, and under the tree he saw the little boy whom he loved very dearly. The giant ran out in the garden. He hastened across the grass and came near the child. And when he came quite closer, his face grew red with anger, and he said, "Who has dared to wound you?" For on the palms of the child's hand there were prints of 2 nails on the little feet. "Who has dared to wound you?" cried the child. "Tell me, that I may take my big sword and slay him." "Nay," answered the child, "but these are the wounds of love." "Who are you?" said the giant, and a strange awe fell on him, and he knelt before the little child. And the child smiled and said to the giant, "You let me play once in your garden, and today you shall come with me to my garden, which is paradise." And when the children ran in that afternoon, they found the giant lying dead under the tree, all covered with white blossoms. Reading Comprehension 1. Answer the following questions. 1. Where did the children play after school? Answer. The children play in the giant's garden after school. 2. What did the giant do when he returned to his castle? Answer. He built a high wall all round his garden and put up a notice board where he wrote, "Trespassers will be prosecuted."